Hello everyone, my name is Rhonda and today is the 20th of June 2024 and it's the feast day of the Irish Martyrs. So I decided this morning to take myself up to Knock, and a lovely surprise being the feast day of the Irish Martyrs, and there was a mass on at 12 o'clock in the Apparition Chapel. Normally mass is on at 12 o'clock in the parish chapel, but today there was a lovely surprise to be able to go and have mass in the Apparition Chapel, because you're able to look upon the apparition as the way as the way the people of the town would have seen it at the time. There's a statue of Our Lady, Saint Joseph, Saint John the Evangelist, and of course the Lamb on the altar, which is the Eucharist. So it's not only a Marian shrine; it's a Eucharistic shrine here. And during Mass, I was thinking about the Irish martyrs, but I was thinking about the white martyrdom as well as the red martyrdom. The white martyrdom can be, I think it's probably worse maybe, because it's more of an internal persecution or an emotional turmoil. And I was just thinking about all the people in Ireland that maybe went through that white martyrdom, that were unknown people, say ordinary people that gave their lives for their families, men that went out and worked really hard to provide and to build homes and to look after their children, to keep them safe. And of course the mammies that worked really hard rearing their children, maybe going without their own dinner in order to feed children or feed their family. So I'd say there's many more martyrs that we just don't even know about. And I was thinking about St. Maximilian Kolbe. In his prayer he was offered the two crowns, either the red one or the white crown, and the white was white martyrdom and the red was red, like meaning that you would die for your faith, and he chose both of them. And of course we know he's not an Irish saint, but he was in Auschwitz and he went through that white martyrdom of persecution in Auschwitz, and then of course he gave his life for another. So so I was just thinking about that, and I was thinking about when I was looking upon the altar and when I seen the statues, and I was thinking back to how it was a silent apparition, and that to me even spoke volumes. And I was thinking about Our Lady, how she always put her son first, how she always, like God was always first in her life, and she knew that she was in the presence of God, of greatness, and it wasn't going to be about her. And I was thinking about during Jesus' persecution, his passion, how Our Lady's heart was absolutely, it must have been in such turmoil, it must have been breaking. To watch her son and to follow him along the way and be at the cross when he died, the pain, the excruciating pain and agony of going through that, and how we don't hear in scripture about the pain of Our Lady, the agony that she went through. And even at the apparition, she was silent because she always looks to the Lord. It's always about her son. It's always about Jesus. And it got me thinking about at times when I would fall into that victim attitude of God help me, this happened to me, you'll never guess what happened, you'll never guess what they did to me, and not this victim kind of attitude. And it just drains us of life. I stumbled across one of the messages in Medjugorje, and I can't really remember the wording now, but I thought about it today, about Our Lady had told the visionaries, I'm trying to remember it now, that her son told her one day that there would be many roses would come to her, and she got to understand that the roses were us, coming to her with our faith, coming to her son in faith, with loving the poor, loving those that are less off than herself, seeing Jesus in others, and our prayer life. And it got me thinking that, whenever we give our lives to Jesus through Mary, she does tend to us. And it's like that rose that when it's planted and then, it has to be nurtured, it has to be cared for. And I got this feeling today that Our Lady does that for us. And then when we're fully bloomed, we're just another rose that she can hand to Jesus. And I was saying my rosary around the basilica, and there's a beautiful statue of Saint Therese of Lisieux, and she always had the roses wrapped around the cross, and it just kind of confirmed that, because it's like keeping Jesus in that constant supply of roses, and how he delights in that. yeah, because we are his creation, and to see us coming back to him in the fullness of who he created us to be must be a real it must be a real delight for the Lord. It's like an artist, whenever he has this vision of a painting that he's going to paint, and then when he paints it, and then he stands back and looks at it and admires it, and it's like that's been reflected back, his talents, his gifts, and he delights in that. And that's the way it is with the Lord, is that whenever we are fully mature and we come to the fullness of who he created us to be, that he must just stand back and really just take great comfort in his creation. And when we fully respond to him in faith, and how grace perfects nature, that the more we respond, the more grace that we're given to mature in our faith and to become more like him. So yeah, I was just thinking about that today, and also what I was thinking, when I thought about the Irish martyrs and Irish saints, and that that the vision that they had in times that weren't easy, and I was thinking about today and parish life today, and this is an experience that a lot of people will talk about. They will say about the tug of war in parish life, and Father put me in charge of this, or Father put me in charge of that, and it's like this is my thing, and people have to hold on, and nearly becomes their this is my thing, and it becomes a little bit controlling, and it's in our human nature. I mean, we all do it. And it just got me thinking, if you're experiencing that, just let go of the tug of war, let go of the rope. Don't hang on, because it's not life-giving, it's life-draining. So yeah, just let go of those struggles, because I'll tell you why. The Lord loves to give, and he gives in abundance. We don't have to grab. We don't have to take or snatch or hold on. He wants to give. He wants to give us life, and life to the full. So on that note, have a lovely feast day, remembering the Irish martyrs, and God bless you, and see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.